Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session of infinity, spiritual infinity. And it is about infinity, it's about never ending and realizing that everything is within us. Things just change form. But we're living in a time, as you all know, where so much is going on around the world, and a lot of us are feeling a stirring inside, and sometimes we don't know how to handle it. If we're going mad, if we're seeing things, and sometimes we can't even talk about it because we're not sure. So, Spiritual Infinity hosts guests who have started their journey, not just necessarily now, but some time ago. And we're talking and they're sharing what their journey was, how they got to where they are today, their ups and downs, just so you can realize you're not alone. So, without much ado, next today is Ionit, and she is actually based in London. As you know, I'm in London, so it's like, oh, we're carrying the same timeline, which is good. And she's got a mixture, but I'm going to let her tell you her journey and talk for herself. And Ionit is a magnetic success founder, but she is aligning people within their business field, whatever you want to do, but it's all about getting back to being your authentic self and getting into alignment. And of course, alignment is acknowledging that we are spiritual beings with a physical body having a human experience, and we're all connected. And that base is spirit. Because when things are not going right as they are in the world, because we're out of alignment, and we need to remember who we are. But that's enough from me. I'm going to pass you through to Ionit. Ionit, welcome.
Thank you, Zenzi. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here with you. Um, I would just say that when you spoke about similar time zone, that we are both here,
Yeah.
I will just mention today is the 11th of 11th, and the time is 1 o'clock as well, soon to be 1 and 11 minutes. So it's just wonderful synergy to be here today, and I'm very happy to share my story and to share my wisdom and my experience with your listeners, and hopefully it will help one person to change their life, and
Yes.
that will create a massive difference in the world as well as we know it.
Yes. So, Ionit, let's hear your story, your journey, how it began, what you went through, because when we are awakening, we go through a lot, and it's not always easy, and it can be quite traumatizing. But when we actually understand and we start to realize what's going on, it's very empowering as well. So, let's hear your journey today.
Thank you, Zenze. So I think it's true to start with, first of all, awakening is not something that is a one-off.
No.
I think it's a journey that we encounter several times during our lifetime, just from a different perspective. And
Yes.
each time it's about our readiness to
Yeah.
face it and to understand what it is that we're going through. So the first time for me was actually when I was 12 years old, when my dad passed, and I left to deal by myself with the emotional strains there, and to process that grief that obviously in the 90s, early 90s, no one really had a lot of mental awareness, and not a lot of support was given at that time. But I started my internal journey back then because I felt and sensed and knew that something is going on, but I couldn't really articulate it. I didn't understand what I am going through. And obviously, when he passed, and I realized that my um, fears or worrying weren't just for nothing. I realized that back then that I have a little bit more connection to an information that was not available to me verbally by the people around me. It was more available to me from inside. So I've started to listen to myself a little bit more. And during teenager years and my 20s and 30s, really my journey was to understand more about who I am, who I where I belong to.
Mm.
What am I here for? Why did I go through these challenges that I've been through? And with every, we'll call it trauma, but it's actually a life-changing event. When we're going through something like that, we tend to internalize it, especially as kids, as if something is wrong with us. So people can experience that with their health or with later on relationships as well in their life, and think constantly that something is wrong with them, something is missing and they don't get it. Or we actually have six bottom beliefs that
Yes,
drag us perfectly
yes,
to
yes,
find those answers. And I talk about these beliefs a lot, because when we feel that we're not good enough, or when we feel that we are not important or unlovable, or we're not worthy to receive and we don't belong, and all these um, underlying beliefs, that's where we start really the journey.
yes,
Because what we try to do is to find out more, or to fix it, or to heal it, or to
yeah,
treat it.
yeah,
So really, I can say my life started to change at the age of 12, but it is a life journey. I've been through a lot of toxic relationships. The last one was quite abusive as well. I have two kids. I'm a single mom today, but the journey was never stopped with the awareness. Because when we have awareness, it's a one thing, and when we have tools to implement it, and when we practicing it more and more, that's when we
yeah,
start to integrate into our different identity, the one that doesn't need to survive life but actually can thrive with life. um, so I would say that's where I started. And the where everything checked in was when I was actually severely depressed. When I was in my 30s, I was pregnant with my second, with my daughter. I was recommended to go to therapy, which now I'm saying to my clients, I actually advise not to go to therapy, but we won't say that. But therapy is good when you need to speak about things, and when you need to vent out, and when you need someone to listen to you. Yes, sorry, Zenzi.
no, don't say so. I love when you said we should really say that. You know what happens listening to you, and I know so many people are listening and they're going to resonate with you, because I hear this over and over again. It starts from young, and we don't feel worthy, we don't feel that we're loved, something goes on. And what we try to do, as you say, we try to fix it, we try to be worthy, we try to feel that we've got to work harder, we've got to do something differently, and then we try to change ourselves, and we change ourselves in a wrong way, because that's not who we really are.
Mhm.
And it's only because we're fighting that battle to want to belong, and to want to be loved. And of course you've had to go through all this and become so depressed, and with going into these relationships, simply because we feel there's something wrong with us, and we're trying to be what we're not. And in fact, depression is playing or acting a part that's not us, and that causes us depression, because the spiritual side, as you're going to talk about it, comes out, and you realize, well, no, I wasn't wrong, it's just that I was doing the wrong thing. So bliss.
Completely, I
So when
agree with
you
you.
say you don't need to go to triggers, but we don't realize that, and it's going
You
through that.
don't realize that. And you know what? I see now from this perspective that everything that we do, even, we'll say with air quotes, even the wrong things are the right things that we needed to go through to understand
Yes,
that that's not for us. Because
exactly.
what happened from that therapy is 9 months of getting more depressed. My my
Because
condition,
I wanted you to
but
be
worse.
the other person, but you're not.
Exactly, because when we speak something into the air, when we speak something into the energy, we're sending the signals.
Yeah.
And when we go every week to a therapy session, 50 minutes on the clock, we repeating the same complaints and we moan about the same things. And these are exactly the things that we're trying to change in our life. But by repeating them, we are recreating them. I always say the words abracadabra are not just magical words. They are truth. This is I will create as I speak. So when I spoke many times how miserable my life was, guess what? They
Your
just
life
got
was
more
miserable.
miserable.
It continued being miserable. We can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time.
Only now, only now, only now. Yes. So yeah, that was part of my journey. And with that, I would say that something good did happen from those sessions, because that therapist recommended me to face my fear from confrontations.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what, maybe you should do something around martial arts. Maybe you should do some kind of, this kind of technique that will help you to gain more confidence. And we talked about me being feisty before the recording started. As a very feisty person, I said, I'm going to do Krav Maga, which is self-defense uh, techniques. Quite not elegant, I will say. It's very not much elegant. It's very practical. What do we teach? Well, first of all, how to not go into troubles. That's the first thing that you do. How to avoid situations and scenarios that you don't want to be facing. But once you find yourself in something, in confrontation, you get to choose. Are you
Yes.
coming with warning? Are you coming with I say now from my days now, am I coming with unconditional love, or are you going to meet my other side of me? It's those two, and I get to choose which one I bring into every confrontation. So that was the good thing that came out of those therapy session. But alongside that, I've started the healing session, which was the healing journey, sorry, which was more of energy healing. I've studied a lot of theta healing and silent counseling and tapping and all of these techniques and modalities, and I took courses after courses. And because of my personality, that I really wanted things to be done with, um, and not to dwell into the past too much. The results that I got to clients that I worked with were very fast as well, very transformative and very fast. So I realized, hold on, I have here something that can really change lives. And we don't really need to look constantly on the past, because when we're looking at the past, we can't create different future.
No.
We have to stay in the here and now as if there is no past. And
Yeah.
from here, what is it that we want to create? What is the end result that we see in our mind? And then to take the action steps from that perspective, not to fix something, not to heal something, not to try and correct anything within ourselves, but really, what is it that I want to achieve in life? And now, what are the action steps that I'm going to take? And for me, what I've learned is to be spiritual is mainly to be within your spirit. That's
Yes.
it. And it can come wherever you go, whatever you do. Even in my classes, which I'm now doing it for many years, and it became quite aggressive, I won't lie. But even in those sessions of class, when I'm with my friends there and we're helping each other, we're supporting each other, I bring my spirit, I bring myself, I bring my smile, I bring my wisdom, I bring my experience, and I'm passing it to other people as well. So that's the meaning of being spiritual, which means understanding that you are part of a chain of light, and you receive help and support from someone during your lifetime and whatever you're going through. And then you are here also to pass it over to someone else that hasn't yet met themselves. We
Yes.
are here to reflect to each other, and hopefully with unconditional love and healthy boundaries.
I'm with you 150% on that, because when you said, and going back, that To keep on looking back means you're continually bringing forward and probably focusing on that which you want to leave behind. So really look at what is happening now, what you want to achieve, and what you need to do in order to achieve that. Because whatever you did in the past has brought you to the present. And if you're not where you are, where you want to be, then obviously what you didn't bring you those goals. So it's a continuing journey. So it's looking at, okay, I'm here now. What do I need to do? And then look at the solutions, being present and being authentic. Really going within, as you said, we need to do the healing. We need to do different modalities in order to connect to that power that's within us, so that we can bring that out, listen to it, because it was guide us in going forward. Because there's nothing that we're confronted with, doesn't matter what the challenges are, we have the knowledge and the power to overcome them. But we have to go within, not in the past. We have to go within. And it is that which we need to connect to within, that, as you said, you did the tapping and to unblock those energy points so things can flow freely, so that we can be the person we're meant to be.
Exactly that. I would even emphasize the person we're meant to be is really our best self.
That's
without
right.
the chase. We don't need to chase becoming the best version of ourselves, because that will send us again to the I'm not good enough belief.
Yeah.
It's really to and you're saying it right, the learning, the one thing that I'm putting massive emphasis in my program is both education and
Yes.
identity.
Yes.
So let's say if someone has a limiting belief inside of them that they are not important enough, or they are unlovable for any reason, whatever they've been through, maybe someone abandoned them, maybe someone passed, doesn't necessarily matter the reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of their identity, trying to fix it, will be by people pleasing, by being overlooked a lot, by overgiving and oversharing and putting other people's needs first, just to feel valued.
Yes.
When we understand that our identity is not related to any other person around us, the identity that we choose to hold, it's so funny, because we are spiritual being in a human body. Which
Yeah.
identity are we taking on now? Is it the identity of a mom? Is it the identity of a career woman? Is it the identity of previous life issues? Is it the identity of the daughter of a parent? Which
Yeah.
identity we want to take? And even that alone is funny, because we are God consciousness. This
Thank you.
is who we are. We are
Yes.
light. And that's
Yes.
the identity. That's the identity we need to choose every single time, reconnect to that. And then the choices that we make are not how to please others, how to make people see the worth or our value to them, or how we're helping them. Then we're becoming leaders in our life, and we're inspiring others to change their lives as well. And we are showing them that they're not on their own. They never were on their own. We are all here together.
Yeah.
They feel more belong, they feel loved, they feel safe.
Yes.
And that's where growth happens.
Yes. I think you hit on a point there. Which identity are we? Somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's niece and nephew? Are we somebody's mother? Are we somebody's father? All these different identities, but we are, as you said, connected to the divine, and we're working with the light, through the light, for the light, and by the light, which is the divine. And I think what we, as you quite rightly said, what we've got to understand is that these different identities that we've come through, especially as a child, as a daughter, as a son, because of a parent, they were. It's like a pipe. You had to come through there to come out to be, and it was just a matter of course. And once now we are here, it's now time for us to realize that we are an extension of the divine, and that's the most important thing we have to connect to and live through. All the rest was just a journey to get from here to there. And yes, it has its ups and downs, and it's like having the birth channel, you know, coming in life. It's the labor, the pain, and eventually you're here, and you're here to experience, to grow, to connect, and to live that life and share with others and encourage others to be on this earth and to make it, for want of another word, heaven on earth. And we're full of doing it.
Yes. I always say to my participants in my program, when you know, everyone has these moments that they're trying to be perfect, even as a spiritual being. They're trying to be vibrating high constantly. They're trying to not take it personally, or rise above things. And I always say to them, we are blessed to come here as human beings. And we need to appreciate that gift, because if we were angels, for instance, angels don't have feelings, angels don't have emotions, but they also don't create. They don't co-create with God or spirit or the energy of all that is. They are there to support us, to help us, to take orders, but they're not here to co-create. And we have this most beautiful privilege of being born here as human beings in a physical body. Okay, we're human. We're obviously spiritual being, human beings, but we need to understand that vessel that we received.
Yes.
Because this vessel has the remarkable ability to feel and to sense, and to use those emotions into our own creation. How wonderful is that? And then you start to look at life as a just big playground.
Yeah.
Then you realize, I'm just here to play. This is the playground that I've received. I'm going to enjoy as much as I can, and that's it. And to co-create whatever it is that I would like to experience in life. You said it beautifully, heaven on earth, and this is exactly that. It's how we feel inside. That's the difference between heaven on earth or hell on earth. It's how we feel towards ourselves inside, I would say.
You said something again that touched, and you said, and it although I know it, but you brought it out, and you said the angels are there. They cannot co-create. They're just here to support us. And when we look at angels being so powerful and the energy that they have, and then, as you rightly said, we're that energy, but we're also got a physical body. And in fact, we're actually more powerful than the angels, because we are here to co-create. We're connected to the divine. The divine gave us that so that we can co-create. We can create things. And when you really sit back, what you just said, it's like, wow, this is how powerful we are. We need to wake up.
We do. Then we realize that we can never be broken.
Thank you.
We are whole. It doesn't matter what happens to us, around us, for us. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We are complete wholeness and connected always to that divine.
Yes, we can be bruised, not from there, but we cannot be broken. The body can be broken because that's the physical. That's when we come to death. That goes. But we are eternal. Then we can go into another vessel, because this is but a vessel.
Absolutely. And you know what? Even when if the body does get not just bruised, but let's say broken bone, for instance,
Yes.
the way it heals, it's
Yes.
beautiful. The way it heals is by growing. So
Yes.
it grows first and heal afterwards, not
Yes.
the other way around. We
Yes.
don't need to heal first and then grow.
No.
We actually need to grow first and then
Yeah.
everything is healed, because we're not entertaining anymore
Yes.
things that were never ours to heal in the first place. It's so fascinating. I work a lot with people that come to me with sort of like I would say difficult childhood, maybe parents that overlooked that paid attention more to a younger sibling, or a strict dad. These are mainly the cases that I'm helping. That's how it happened. Yeah, I didn't I'm not advertising these specific people, but for these specific people, but people that come to me mainly have some kind of a problematic childhood,
Yeah.
and they grow up and they work constantly to prove themselves. They
Yes.
work very hard to create achievements in their life that are not necessarily for themselves. They
Hmm.
are for their own parents, to try and prove themselves that they are worthy of their love.
Yes.
And it's fascinating to see how within a single session, when you clear out the voices, the internal voices that are not theirs, they
Yes.
are the voices of their parents.
Yes.
All of a sudden there is much more clarity. All of a
Yes.
sudden they understand what it is that they would like to create in their life. They
That's
don't
it.
want to create what their parents wanted for them. They want something else, perhaps. But the way they were thinking, the way they were talking to themselves was the same way of their parents.
Yeah.
And I'm saying we only need that awareness just to understand that sometimes if we hear something within ourselves that is not loving,
Hmm.
most likely it's not our inner voice.
No.
That's it.
It's never. I need to say that it's never our inner voice, because the Creator and we are an extension of that, created us in unconditional love.
True.
Unconditional love. That is our base. That is our wall. That is our above and below. Unconditional love. That is our foundation.
True. And the interesting thing to see is that when we are listening to someone else's voice instead of our own or the creators, then our mind plays with us. This
Ah,
is where the mind comes into that play and say, hold on, let's throw here a little bit criticism. Let's
yes.
throw here a little bit of doubt, or let's confuse you a little bit so that you
Yes.
can occupy yourself with some drama
Yes.
around relationships, around health, around money. Let's
Whatever.
just throw this into the mix and see what happens.
Yes. Yes. So many times to put us off and to make us to go into a spiral of fear, anxiety,
Yes.
not worthy. Here we go again.
Here we go again. And instead of just living the life that we love,
Yeah.
or living with our best health and vitality, or live our true nature, in our true nature and on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Unette, you've gone through so much up to your 30. You've had your two children. You were in depressed. You went to therapy, and you've come out realizing, because you had that spiritual awakening. Now, let me just ask you something before we move on. As you said, you what significant thing brought out your spirituality? What brought your spirituality into your face? What made you realize, no, I need to
Yeah.
go within?
So when I do a certain meditation, which I use a lot in my program, and I teach others how to connect,
Mm.
I felt for the first time when I studied that, how it feels like to be in that space of unconditional love. There is a remarkable work that we do with energy work when we can download feelings that we may have never felt them before. I'll give you an example. Perhaps a child that was adopted by, let's say, two men,
Mhm.
and grows up with a lot of love, and a healthy home, but that child never experienced a mother's love. Not
Mhm.
because he was unloved or that child was unloved,
Yes.
but because it wasn't available.
Mhm.
And we have that with everything in life. We can say that about people who grew up in poverty. They never know how it feels like
That's
to
right.
to live in abundance, okay?
Yes.
Or in poor health, they never know how it feels like to live in great health.
Yeah.
So when we do the energy work, we can download feelings that we never felt before, and we can connect the person into those feelings even though their life experience never introduced them to that. They may try to, but they never really managed to connect to them. And we do that only in the space of unconditional love,
Mhm.
only on the seventh plane of the divine, of the energy of all creation.
Mhm.
And when I've encountered this feeling for the first time, I've realized how it feels like, how it looks like, how I can operate on day-to-day life from
Mhm.
that place and from that perspective. And
Okay.
I knew that no matter what, everything else that is being presented to me that doesn't feel like that is
Yes.
not the truth, is not the real truth. And that was my spiritual awakening, where I even was able to connect more to God, or that energy, because before that I never really spoke about God.
Mhm.
But those were the moments of me realizing, you know what, there is a higher power there. It doesn't matter how we call it. I just want to stay connected. I'm choosing to stay connected, and that's it. That was it. So then everything else that is introduced to you, toxic relationships, criticism by others, controlling, coercive cycles, all these, horrendous lessons, you just say, it's not love. It's not unconditional love. And I'm choosing not to stay here anymore.
Very good. Again, you hit on something very slight, but but I need to draw the attention to everyone. When you said when you connected on the seventh plane, that is very important, because on the fourth and the fifth plane, there are still negative energies there that sometimes we think, oh, we've connected, and sometimes it's not the right connection that we need. It's not until you start to go to the seventh, eighth, ninth, higher up, that you're actually connecting to that proper light force. Fourth, fifth, and sixth are still on a lower. So for those who are looking into things and working, Ionit said something, take that on board. It's from the seventh, eighth, ninth plane onwards. When you're doing your meditation and connecting, that's where you need to aim for.
Absolutely. Even when we work, so the sixth plane, for instance, is where the universal laws are: law
Mhm.
of magnetism, law of karma,
Mhm.
law of gender. I don't say the words correctly. I apologize about that. But even when we work on creation or manifestation,
Mhm.
it's important that when we are connected to our visions, we go first to the seventh plane, and from there revisiting lower plane of existence. So when we do manifestation work in the program, there are 12 universal laws that are assisting us with creating reality. And instead of just visiting that place and say, okay, now I'm a magnet to everything I desire, and all the affirmations that don't say much,
Mhm.
we're going first to the seventh plane, and from there we're visiting back the sixth plane. And now we can connect to the highest definition of these laws.
Yes.
And this is why it's important to connect first to that unconditional love, because, as you said, there are tricky
Things
spirits,
going on at the lower
people,
levels.
tricky ancestors, that
Yes, yes, going on
want
at the
our best, but they don't
fourth.
know how to.
Exactly. So they're not the ones we're supposed to be aiming for. We're supposed to
Exactly.
be aiming higher.
Exactly.
And that gives us the strength that we can then handle the lower
Exactly.
and
Exactly
see
that.
what is right for what is true and what is false.
Exactly.
So, Jeanette, right. So, through your meditation, through your work, it's now shown you that, oh, this is what really is. So, from that time, from your 30s upwards, and you started to go into your spiritual side and you started to open up, how was life then? How did things start to speed up for you?
As you said, speed up. Just
Yes.
like we like it. So yeah, I was able to create massive changes in my life within 1 year. So things that might have taken a long time before that, all of a sudden I had the confidence, I had the belief, I had the trust that things will work out for me, and I just bravely and courageously took those steps that were aligned at this time to my desires and not to my fears. So
Mm-hmm.
I was able to leave a toxic relationship. I was able to even change occupations. I used to do a lot of interior design and architecture, and I received a prize of 6 month mentoring with my own spiritual mentor to build this as a business and to make something out of it that is more than just for myself, but actually to share it with others. That was a few thousands of pounds worth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was able to change those hats from a designer hat to a white witch hat, shall we say. I received an award for my work because I worked a lot with high net worth individuals and their families.
Mm-hmm.
And in those brackets, I have to say to everyone that is listening, the problems are always the same problems.
Mm-hmm.
The things that we're dealing with are the same things we're dealing with. And whether you have more money or less money, it doesn't affect whatsoever on your nature of relationships with other people or with yourself or with money. So I worked with them for maybe over a year, and I received an award because of the fast transformational journey that they've experienced that lasted. I work mainly with the subconscious mind and the superconscious mind, and that's why it's less about talking and it's more about doing the right work. So even refining my own techniques and my own journey and my own tools, and that was just like speed it up. Um, I think that's the massive changes that I've managed to build for myself. And obviously the I really see it as a gift that I'm receiving from the universe every single day to show up, to speak up, to say my truth, and to help others to do the same. That's just a gift that I'm very grateful for, and that wasn't there before. Before that I kept myself extremely quiet, depressed, as I said earlier. Now it's all out there. So it's just beautiful. And I will say one more thing with the self-defense journey, that was an unexpected journey at all that I thought I would ever take. But I became the highest belt woman outside of the Israeli Federation. So amongst 8 countries, I became the highest belt woman. And my instructors want me to become an instructor as well for women and for kids as well. And I just, as it says, you just follow the steps, and the path is being revealed. I never aimed for any of my achievements. I've just got there because I became them.
You rang some music to my ears when you said you work with the subconscious and the superconscious mind. And this is what I've been advocating a long time. And not many people talk about the superconscious mind, because that is where reality is. And when you're so taken in with the subconscious that holds all the things that are not really you, but you created them. But in the super conscious mind, it's really who you are, what you're capable of, the creator, everything. And when you lock into that and you work with that, you automatically then rewire the subconscious mind
Exactly.
because you're living it. I know not many people, so thank you for saying that. I thought, oh yes, yes, he knows the super conscious mind.
My pleasure. Yeah, we are able to that it's so funny. The way I start working with anyone that comes to me is only 4 sessions to clear past traumas. These are the things that most people will stay for months or years into therapy in order to overcome, and that never works really.
Yes,
I'm beginning with the releasing the subconscious mind on 4 different levels of what we received from the DNA, what we've experienced in our childhood, what we've experienced from our collective consciousness and previous life as well, which affecting us.
yes, yes, yes.
And and then when we do that, we are unlocking the key. Maybe we are unlocking the full potential. We're unlocking the access to the full potential, which is the super conscious mind.
Conscious mind.
So it's really that journey
You're absolutely
doesn't have to
correct.
take time. It can literally, it just takes intention. Just takes intention and
Yes,
decision.
you're absolutely correct. Music to my ears. Now, how can people connect with you? What are you doing? What programs? So come on, let us hear about you. Tell people, so if they want to connect with you, if they want to work with you, how do they go about that?
So first of all, LinkedIn and Facebook, just find me with my name, Ionit Sabatello, which is spelled with an I at the beginning. I can send you a link as well to a breakthrough call for anyone who wants to have this chat and see what is the thing that is blocking them at the moment from breaking through their glass ceiling. And it can be done within one call, really. So I'm inviting everyone who wants to have this chat with me. I can send you the link and just DM me.
Okay,
Just have a look at what I do, what I post. If something resonates there, amazing. If something is not resonate, amazing too. Just do you. And I would love to tell everyone who is listening here, work with your heart more than work with your mind. Really, we have a lot of work to do on our mind, but when you are connected to your
yes,
heart, you are led to the right people. Nothing is by chance. We don't meet people just as an by chance. Everything has a meaning. So if something resonates, just connect with me and we'll take it from there.
everything is intentional, and when you say work from the heart, yes, because it is known that even from the womb, the heart is the first organ to start to be formed, and it is the heart that's connected to the creator. So it
Love
is
it.
the heart that is more important. And I said it before, and I'll keep on saying it, and when all of my speakers are saying it, love. Love, we were created in unconditional love, the heart. Unconditional love is our basis. Unconditional love is what created this whole universe and is an extension of the creator. So it is the heart that is most important. Work on the heart, things you'll see things clearer, and anger and all the rest has no place.
Agree.
Okay. Before I say thank you and and to my those who are listening in, can you leave us with something, a golden nugget or two? Some of my people say, "Can I do 2 or 3?" I said, "You can do 4." You would like to to tell those who are listening, to help them along their journey, something that will give them that encouragement to keep going. So some kind of golden nugget of advice or 2,
Yes.
3.
I would say one thing then. Wherever focus goes, energy grows.
Yes.
And I want you, whoever listen to that, know that there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong. I will encourage people to focus on how they want to live their life, how to build life that they love. how to be healthy and vibrant and aligned with themselves, and how to lead their own life first, then others, with confidence and calm from the heart space. That will give them so much resilience, so much peaceful moments, and so much joy that they will forget about their problems that they are currently dealing with. These are problems that were created from previous mindset. And if we want to live different life, we have to consciously focus on what we want to create.
Ionit, thank you so much indeed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And your what you said are wonderful nuggets. It is about changing our mindset, focusing on what we have, and realizing that we are unique, each one of us. There's nothing wrong with us. It's just that we've forgotten and we've locked into a mindset that we need to let go of. And there is help out there.
Absolutely.
We are all extension of the Creator. So to all my visitors who have listened to this program today, thank you so much for listening in. To Ionit Sabatello, thank you so much for being my guest today. Good luck with all you're doing, with all those you're working with. And thank you for saying that. Doesn't matter, be your business and you work with the high end, they have the same problems that we at the bottom end have. It's the same problem and we need to change it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for this space and beautiful talk.
And I will put in the write-up when I'm doing your websites and things so that you can connect with Ionit. So look out for that. And once again, everybody, thank you. Ionit, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody, and bye for now. Thank you.